Guys, I asked you once. I'm not going to ask you. Over the white line, imaginary line. we have to say we just drove. Yeah. Guys, you want to get back on? They're coming out. We'll get back on the van. We'll go show you tow bay to command post, and then we'll head back so we can get the other crew out.
Watch yourself here, the car's coming through.
She had time on her hands. Freelancing. Oh, they'll catch up. They'll catch up.
How far?
Keep going. We don't want to pull. Why don't you just go through?
The horses don't like it.
Gonna spook the horses. Everybody's all fogged up now.
On the van. Get in the van. Guys, in the van, please. In the van, please.
All right, you got a shot of a dog?
You got a dog.
Wait, I'm good to go.
We're good to go. We got the dog. We didn't get the yacht, but we got the dog.
You need a heads up, Wolf?
I got one.
His back is to us. The two guys stand down there. One guy holding a cup of coffee like this. Holding the coffee like this. On the left, that's him. That's Matt Chase. Yeah, just sipping the coffee. Yeah, that's him. So yeah, that's him. Who else?
I guess Andrew. But this...
No, he's not here. I don't think he's here. If he's here, I'll show you. He's not a bad guy. I mean, you know,
Hi.
How are you?
he does
Good.
the best he can.
See you.
Good to see you.
Jim, can you help out? Do you have anything, Jim? Yeah.
Just GPS coordinates.
Okay.
19 bucks.
Okay, we ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Detective Lieutenant Kevin Smith. I'm with the Nassau County Police Department. I'm here with Trooper Frank Bandiero from the New York State Police, and we're just going to kind of give you a briefing on what's taking place today. Obviously, it's after 9 o'clock in the morning, and we've begun a search along Ocean Parkway. Members of the state troopers are here, along with the Nassau County Police and the State Park Police, and we are covering both the east and the westbound lanes of Ocean Parkway, and we're looking along the thickets and the underbrush, and pretty much the conditions are pretty harsh right now. Obviously, you can tell the fog was supposed to lift. It hasn't. The ground is very moist right now. In addition to that, we have officers here on horseback. We have members of our Bureau of Special Operations, our emergency service crews. All in all, I'd say we have over 100 members of law enforcement here today conducting this search. One of the things that we also are doing is utilizing some fire department apparatus, all right, basically the cherry picker type trucks that will be able to kind of transverse over into the brush and be able to look down into all that kind of what's really dense underbrush and rooty and thorny conditions. In addition to that, there is a big area to the east of us, which is a wildlife preserve. It's about 550 acres. Also has a 30-acre pond on it called Guggenheim Pond. And we're going to be looking in and around that area as well. There's also a shoreline on the north end, which is going to be looked at by our Marine Bureau patrol boats to see if there's any kind of debris in the water that might turn up in terms of evidence. So that's what we're doing right now. That's what we're doing today. In a few minutes, we're going to make one of our vans available to get you out there to take a look at some of what the work is that's being done. Any questions in the meantime?
Do you anticipate this will continue tomorrow?
It's hard to tell right now. It depends if the weather conditions deteriorate. We might have to look for better weather. Tomorrow's supposed to be pretty rainy too. Obviously, there's no rush at this point. It's more important that we be thorough in our search.
You're not
Are you using
anticipating
cadaver
finding
dogs?
anything, but you want to be careful.
Well, we want to be careful. There's no reason to believe at this time that we're going to find another crime scene. But of course, with what's happened to the east of us in Suffolk County, we have to be thorough, we have to look, and we have to make an effort to check. Anything else?
Is the brush as thick as it is on Oak Beach?
The brush is very thick. I mean, it's bramble, it's thickets, it's thorny, there's poison ivy. I understand there's sumac out there, as well as there's all kinds of plant life and vegetation, which is kind of with a lot of surface roots and dense. It's really hard to get into it. What we do is we have people with cherry pickers out there right now, and we're looming over it and looking down. Now, if we see something that indicates it may be evidence, or it might be, you know, some kind of a bone or body part, obviously what we're going to do is try to clear a path to it, maybe make a path so that our officers can get in there. So we have people out there with picks, we have people out there with chainsaws and axes in an effort to get to anything that we think might be suspicious.
Are you using cadaver dogs?
We are. Actually, the state is supplying cadaver dogs, and so is Suffolk County, and we're going to be using them as well. In addition, I told you there are trails in the wildlife preserve. We have officers on horseback. We feel that that's a good idea because they sit a good 10 to 11 feet up in the air, and they'll be able to look down along the sides of both paths.
And
Are you
Ocean
targeting-
Parkway is such a long highway here.
I'm sorry?
Ocean Parkway.
Yes,
I mean,
it's very
where do
long.
where do you figure out where to search? I mean, it's such a huge expanse of land.
It is. It's a huge, and we have to do the best that we absolutely can. Basically, what we're concentrating on is a good 30 to 50 feet off the road. If you look at both lanes of the highway, then there's grass on both sides of the highway, and then the bramble begins. And we're trying to look a good 30 to 50 feet into the bramble, where somebody might have tossed something in that's either evidence or a decomposing body, God forbid.
Trooper Ben.
So why are you, again, I don't quite understand why you're targeting the area that you're targeting if you said that you don't expect to find anything. What is the proximity?
Well, what I'm saying is I really hope we don't find anything. I don't think any of us wants to really discover another crime scene out here. But the bottom line is we've had 8 bodies discovered out here in Suffolk County, just over the border. So we think it's a good idea before the vegetation starts to grow, all right, for us to check, right? It makes common sense to
How
us.
far roughly are you from exactly where the bodies were found?
I'm sorry?
How far are you, is your...
I don't know, but it's basically just over the line into Suffolk County. So we're going to check all the bramble and the adjacent land to Ocean Parkway, all the way up to about the tower. The troopers are starting at the Jones Beach Tower. They're going to be working their way east. Nassau County Police are starting down at Tobay Beach. We're going to be working our way west.
Trooper Bandiero, can you
Go ahead, Frank.
discuss the involvement of state police?
Mike.
Same thing as Lieutenant Smith just said. Thank you. Same thing Lieutenant Smith just covered. Same type of search, consistent with Suffolk. As the Lieutenant said, we're going to state police. The troopers are going to be heading east from the tower, and Nassau County heading west.
You've been out here off and on for several months now. Can you reiterate what you've done so far?
Well, our troopers helped out with cadaver sniffing dogs, and any way we could assist Suffolk, we did.
Could you speak to the difficulties state police have with considering the terrain, the complicated nature of this whole search?
I think Lieutenant Smith covered it. It's just not only the troopers and officers encountering the bramble and the thick brush. It's the canines also have to deal with it. It's a problem, but we're coping.
There was a report over the weekend that maybe this was done by a police officer who might have knowledge of phones and the way to dispose of bodies. What are your thoughts as a police officer about that?
My thoughts would hope it's not true. I didn't hear that, but what else can you say?
Let me say something about that, all right? There's a lot of people out there, especially, and the media likes to embrace these so-called experts. And granted, some of them are experts in their field. But right now, all right, for anyone to come out and say that it's a specific person, a specific occupation, or a specific type, I think it is unfair, and I think it's mere suspicion, it's mere speculation, all right? Right now, it could be anybody. And we don't really want the public, all right, to think that it's any one particular group of people. We want to kind of look at this in a very broad sense, and that's only fair to do it that way. If you go back and you look at the DC sniper area, everybody thought there was a white van involved. There was no white van involved. Everybody thought it was 2 young male whites. It wasn't 2 young male whites. All right, so we have to be careful when we want to put out information like that. And I think we have a responsibility as law enforcement not to put out anything that's controversial like that. You can go with it if you want, but it's not coming from us.
Kevin, there was a report that came over BNN that said that there was a discovery of animal bones by Tobey. Can you discuss whether there's an anthropologist going down to check if they're animal or human?
We are going to have a medical examiner on board, all right? So if we come across any bones to determine whether or not they are animal bones or whether they're human bones, all right? We don't want to slow down the search every time we see a bone that might be associated with a dog or a cat or whatever the case may be. I can't confirm that those bones were found. I haven't heard about that yet.
Thank you, Kevin.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
You guys are connected. Hang on one second. I'm sorry.
Frank? Bandiero, B-A-N-D-I-E-R-O.
All right.
Trooper. State Police.
New York State Police.
Yes.
Going to come down and address you, give you a quick briefing, along with Chief Kirby, our chief from the Nassau County Police Department, and the county executive as well, okay?
How do you spell Captain Dewar, sir?
I believe it's like the Scotch D-E-W-A-R. I don't know. He'll tell you when he gets here, okay? So they'll just give you a quick briefing, and basically I think what they're going to go on to say is that they've
Sorry, I'm just getting my.
It's dangerous out here.
is that they've discovered something along the side of the road that, you know, may or may not be human bones, all right? So it has not been substantiated yet that they are human bones, but they're taking a look at it. It's another area that we're looking at. I'm sorry, we were talking at the same time. Can I help you?
You did say may before you said may not.
Yeah, I did. All right. So just stand by. They should be here in about 5 minutes or so.
I gave him the coordinates.
Watch your backs, please. Yes, sir. Watch your backs a little bit, please. As I said, the county executive, Mr. Mangano, is here, along with Captain Dewar, Acting Commissioner Crumpter.
Thank you all for coming to. Okay. Oh, come on in, everybody. Come on and gather around. Thank you for joining us here today. I'm joined here today by Acting Police Commissioner Tom Crumpter. Sorry. It's mine. Okay, I'll start over. But thank you for joining us here today. I'm joined here by Acting Police Commissioner Tom Crumpter. We're also here with the Captain of New York State Police, Captain Dewar. And we've gathered here today. First and foremost, we want to thank all those that are involved in today's search. We have our Nassau County Police, our Bureau of Special Operations, our mounted patrol is out there, our mounted police, along with volunteer firefighters, the New York State Police Department that's leading the investigation and parts of today's investigation, We also have the Town of Oyster Bay Public Safety joining with us, and the New York State Park Police. This is an effort of over 50 individuals and 3 or 4 police forces coming together to continue the search of what's occurred in Suffolk County. We're concerned that remains could be found here in Nassau County, and the professionals that joined here today are doing a great job along with our canine units. And collectively, we want to bring to justice this animal that has obviously taken the lives of a number of people. We encourage anyone that has any information to call our hotline, 1-800-244-TIPS, 1-800-244-TIPS. Bring this animal to justice. I'm going to have Captain Dewar say a few words about today's investigation and search. And without further ado, Captain Dewar.
At approximately 11:20 a.m., a state trooper using a cadaver dog did locate some bones on the Ocean Parkway on the north side, the bay side. Those bones will be transported to the Nassau County Medical Examiner's Office, where a determination as to whether they are human will be made.
Thank you, Captain. Commissioner, say a few words? You're good. Well, that's what today's investigation and search has obviously turned up some remains. We have to determine whether they're human remains. Our medical examiner will determine that shortly. We continue the search. We're intensifying our efforts. There are debris fields out there. There's debris. There's certain things that have been found, and we're going to investigate and determine what they are and how they may or may not affect the ongoing investigation in Suffolk County. Again, I want to thank all those in law enforcement and our volunteer firefighters and public safety officials that have come to get together today to give their time to resolving this most heinous acts that have occurred here on Long Island and Suffolk and possibly Nassau County. Thank you.
Can you tell us exactly where off of Ocean Parkway
There has been a medical examiner here since 7 a.m. This morning, someone from the medical examiner's office,
can you
as
explain
part of the
exactly
search.
where these bones were found, what the scene looked like, and describe the bones themselves, please?
No, I won't be describing the bones, but they were located on the north side, approximately 1.5 miles east of the tower, east of the Jones Beach Tower.
And they appear to be human bones?
I can't comment on that.
Were they obscured or buried under anything?
I'm not going to comment on anything we found other than to say what I already said.
Do you have an idea when we'll get an answer back from the medical examiner?
We should have an answer back shortly. I don't want to put a time on it.
Why does it have to go to the medical examiner's office if you have a medical
We can do one at a time.
If you have a medical examiner here on the scene, why does it have to go to the ME's office? What more tests?
They're not prepared to make a determination here at this scene.
How far was this discovery from the other crime scenes?
I'm not certain exactly how far, approximately 5 miles.